Gamers, what a surprise, I wasn't expecting you. Well, now that you're here, let me tell you all about The Wolf Among Us Episode 3, A Crooked Mile. This game is the third installment of a 5-episode series where you play as a detective called Bigsby, who is also the Big Bad Wolf. You're in charge of protecting the inhabitants of Fabletown, a town located somewhere in the Bronx, where mythical fables are just trying to make ends meet. The game has a very noir feel to it and doesn't pull its punches when it comes to graphic violence, even though it doesn't have a very realistic art style. This third episode is great because these episodic games follow a very distinct style with their episodes. Episode 1 is great because everything is new and you get to meet a lot of new people. Episode 2 is a bit slower as it builds up tension. Episode 3 plays off that tension and rewards your patience with some really great story beats. Episode 4 builds up more tension, and finally Episode 5 uses that built up tension to make another really great installment. This way of making episodic games has its downfalls. Episodes 1, 3, and 5 are always pretty great and exciting to play, however Episodes 2 and 4 are always a bit dull and a slower experience. What matters here and now is that this is a third episode, and it's really great. It plays off of everything the previous episodes have been building up and really lays the story hammer down on you. Also, in a very Telltale Games fashion, you have to make some very difficult decisions in a very short amount of time. It's a rushed feeling that makes you really feel like this story is your own and that these are the choices you were meant to make. The problems from the first 2 episodes still exist here. If you don't like games with no action in them, you really shouldn't play this game. I mean, sure, there's action, but you really don't have a lot of input in it. Most of the action is played through QuickTime events and clicking on dudes. It's pretty simple stuff. The game also may not be for the gamer who doesn't work well under pressure. A lot of hard decisions have to be made in less than 5 seconds, meaning you really just have to go with your gut. The game has also gotten less dark. The first episode started with some pretty gruesome stuff, but it hasn't been the same since. I mean, sure, this third episode can be pretty dark at times, but it's nothing compared to that first episode, which feels like a faraway dream at this point. The game still isn't something you'd want to show your kids, but it was something that you wouldn't even want to show your parents. That about wraps up the review of The Wolf Among Us Episode 3, A Crooked Mile. I like the game, because I like good writing and I don't mind the lack of action sequences. If you can live with that, you should check this game out. Kevin, signing out.